If you're tired of waking up unmotivated, it is time you download the Mindset Daily Motivation app and start your day with new motivational alarms. Let's go!
Can you hear it? Can you hear the music?
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
It's calling to you, and that's the unrevealed world trying to reveal itself to you. And all you have to do is allow it to reveal itself to you.
It's simple, but it's not easy. But all you have is all you need. So get it done.
Life owes you nothing. You owe yourself everything.
It's a gamble. Yeah, I know that. But look, if there was a time to roll the dice, this is it.
There's a lot of days where, you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them.
You gotta shake that stuff off of you. You gotta learn how to shake off the pain.
See, you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are, not what you want.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. And you may be successful, and you may not be successful, but you will be better. And the next challenge, you're gonna be more prepared for. And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win.
You rise during pressure because you know what a fight feels like. The fact that you've had to fight all your life, it means you're prepared for this moment.
Champions don't have time to wait around for something to happen on its own. Champions don't just come overnight. Champions have to grow.
The prize goes to the hardest worker in the room.
I wake up every single day and I will prove to the world I made my mark. I was here.
A wise person once told me, dreams don't work unless you do. Today I need you to embrace what comes hard. Today I need you to accept the challenge. Today I need you to fall in love with the process. And I mean all of the peaks and valleys. I mean all of the highs and lows. I mean all of the ebbs and flows. I need you to set your internal GPS to the destination of next level and begin your trek to greatness. Your journey to the destination of graduation will be a bumpy one, but you must keep going. Stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize. As your GPS guides you, don't be alarmed when it says, keep straight, turn right on Failure Boulevard, keep driving. In a half a mile, make a left on Setback Lane, keep driving. In a quarter of a mile, turn right on Adversity Avenue, keep driving. In 2 miles, turn left on Bad Day Drive, keep driving. In 10 miles, turn right on Heartbreak Street, keep driving. And the directions will continue. But the recurring theme is keep driving. Just like the recurring theme in this message is keep going, keep grinding. Because your motto is and always will be hard work pays off. It always has and it always will. Do you have the willpower to overcome the dark days? Do you have the willpower to overcome the rough patches? Do you have the willpower to overcome the bad grades? Do you have the willpower to overcome that professor that doesn't like you, and vice versa? Let me answer that question for you. Yes, you do. Because you refuse to let anything stop you from designing a lifestyle of your dreams. And if that means you have to power through the dark days, if that means you have to push through the rough patches, that's exactly what you can and will do. Because you understand that if you sweat now, you shine later. Never forget, what comes easy won't last. And the things that last the longest never come easy. And that's the exact reason why the harder you work for something, the greater you feel when you achieve it. And that's why you spend all those hours studying. You limit the time you spend on social media. You very seldom go hang out with your friends. And you push yourself harder than the average person ever would. Because you made a vow to your mama. You made a vow to your daddy. You made a vow to your brother. You made a vow to your sister. You made a vow to your family. And most importantly, you made a vow to yourself that you did not go to school to be ordinary. You did not go to school to be mediocre. You did not go to school to be middle of the road. You did not go to school to be average. As a matter of fact, you always make sure you take your annual average vaccine because you never, ever, ever want to catch the disease of average. So that means you understand that at times you will feel pain. At times you will not be comfortable. At times you will mentally hurt. At times you will be physically exhausted. But it's those times that will catapult you to heights you never thought you would see. It's those times that will propel you to successes you never thought you could achieve. It's those times that will launch you into a stratosphere that only few ever reach. It's those times that will thrust you into an orbit that most will deem impossible. But all of your hard work will make the impossible possible. All of your hard work will make the unbelievable believable. If you want to bypass coach and fly in first class, you must first make all of your classes a priority, because the studies show, in terms of dollars and cents, those that fail to graduate high school earn about $25,000 per year. Those that graduate high school earn about $35,000 per year. Those with associate's degree, they earn about $42,000 per year. Those with a bachelor's degree, it bumps up to about $60,000 per year. Those with a master's degree, they earn about $70,000 per year. And those with a PhD, they earn about $85,000 per year. So as you can see, the more you invest in your education, the more the world is willing to invest in you. So when you're having one of those days, when you're having one of those weeks, when you're having one of those months, when you're having one of those semesters, never forget, if you quit, you are not only robbing yourself of mental gratification, you're also robbing yourself of the financial gain that comes when you graduate to the next level of higher learning. So let that be the fuel that drives you to keep giving every ounce of your soul. Let that be the fuel that drives you to keep giving every ounce of your heart. Let that be the fuel that drives you to keep giving every ounce of your being to reach the finish line. The great Muhammad Ali was once asked by a reporter, "How many sit-ups do you do every day?" He said, "I don't know, because I only start counting when it starts hurting. When I feel pain, that's when I start counting, because that's when it really counts." I need you to think the same way. When you start to feel a little pain, when you start to feel a little uncomfortable, when you start to feel a little tired, when you start to feel a little stressed, a little overwhelmed, keep pushing, keep grinding, keep going, because that's when it really counts. When you reach that point that most others would stop, that's when you keep going and engage in positive self-talk, just like the little engine that could. Tell yourself over and over again, "I know I can. I know I will. I know I can. I know I will. It's not over until I succeed. It's not over until I win. Because stopping right now is absolutely not an option. That diploma is mine. That degree is mine. That job is mine. That business is mine. The next level awaits. And once I get past all of the streets, bypasses, and highways of adversity, misfortune, bad luck, hardship, misery, and heartbreak, I will arrive at my destination of gold. Because all of that pressure transformed that lump of coal that used to be me into a diamond. Now that's the mindset of a champion. That's the mindset of a winner. That's the mindset of an overcomer. And above all else, that's the mindset of a graduate. David Bilyeu said, striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest a crop when you haven't planted. So today, I need you to take hard work out for a date. And before you know it, you're in a phenomenal relationship with success that one day will lead to an incredible marriage to greatness. So never forget, hard work pays off. So stay dedicated, be persistent, remain positive, dream big, and conquer any and every obstacle that you ever face. This is a great day to win.
How did you get your mindset into this alter ego to be comfortable being Black Mamba?
I switched my mind to something else. I switched my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
The definition of work. What is the definition of work? Activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result.
Working hard is the cost of entry of winning. You know nobody on earth that's made it that didn't work hard.
There's a point in time where you have to absolutely get up and stand on your own 2 feet and say, this is the way in which I want to leave my impact on the world.
Every day trying to be better and trying to improve yourself by 1 or 2%. Fulfill things, set yourself a couple of tasks, do or die tasks a day, get them done. Feel better, move on to the next thing.
I mean, this is work.
I don't know your vision. I don't know your mission. I don't know what you want to be. I don't know who you want to be. I don't know how big you want to build. I don't know how big of a legacy you want to leave. I don't know your vision. I don't know your standards.
I want to take calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. For us to set goals and not achieve them, it's on us. There has to be a burning desire inside of us to do more, be more, and become more.
I heard someone once say that greatness is within you, but it's dormant, it's bottled up, just waiting for the moment to unleash and show the world how great you really are.
Yeah, you gotta lead by example. You gotta show them. And that's what I tried to do.
So think of your first week of classes as your opportunity to establish positive momentum.
It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses.
I didn't want anybody to be able to say, well, he's not willing to do the work.
So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become better. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Imagine if you wrote it down, you knew you were going to achieve it. Imagine if there was no procrastination in the things that we do. Imagine for a moment if you were someone who went out and executed on the things that you said you were going to do, because self-commitment is something that you absolutely have written on your heart. Like, what if we were the people who absolutely operated on the words that we told ourselves?
You know, you want to be a little bit better in some way tomorrow than you are today, but it's not going to be in a linear path. Again, these go through cycles of stress and recovery. If you're doing your best, if you're really laying it out there, there's nothing more you can do. I'm doing my best, and there's nothing more than that.
What do I do when my boss wants all the credit? What do I do? And what do I do when I've got a young individual that has a lot of potential, but they're not really taking advantage of it? They're not motivated to make things happen. What do I do then? So many kids these days miss out on the fact the correlation between working and studying and pushing yourself to the results that you get. It's what I think hurts kids, is they don't connect what they're doing now with the future. I know I didn't. You know, when I was a kid, I was, what's the future? It's tomorrow. The future is, the weekend. You don't realize, you can actually set yourself up. What you're doing today is connected to the future. Okay, once you make that connection, you say, maybe I'll study, maybe I'll train, maybe I'll work out harder. You can start doing those things because you can improve and you can have a better life. Sure, are there some kids that are gonna be able to do pull-ups out of the gate? Sure. Are there some kids that can learn their times tables really quickly? Sure. You're not gonna be great at everything, but you can get better as long as you have the discipline, put your mind to it, and are willing to work hard. If I'm manipulating you, I'm trying to get you to do something. If I'm leading you, I'm trying to get you to do something. And many of the tools are very similar. So what's the difference between me leading you and me manipulating you? It's very easy for me to answer that question. If I'm manipulating you, I'm trying to get you to do something that's going to benefit me. If I'm leading, I'm trying to get you to do something that's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit the team, and it's going to benefit the mission. So for me, those are too easy. Those are too easy. It's real obvious. And by the way, if I'm a manipulator, I can get away with that for a little while, but eventually you're gonna look at me for what I am. You're gonna see that the maneuvers I'm making, the tools I'm using, I'm utilizing those tools for my own benefit. And as soon as you see that, you won't fully support me. You won't. The same goes for when I'm trying to make you do something good for yourself and for the team. You're gonna see that too. And you're gonna say, he actually cares about me. That's what he's doing this for. And when you know I care about you, you'll do anything for me. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I want to give you hard criticism. How do I give you hard criticism? The first thing I have to do is make sure that you understand I care about you, which is not easy to do, and it's not always obvious. But if you know that more than anything else, what I want is for you to be successful, when I say, hey Tom, I'm looking at the outcome of the last project, and you were like 3 weeks past the time, I think there's some things that we could do to kind of make you a little bit more efficient in leading these things. If you know that my number one thing is that I care about you, you're gonna be all ears. To an extent. Because guess what percentage of the world is truly open for criticism? Oh, it's tiny. There's so few people that are truly open to criticism.
How do you gain influence and respect? Like, what's that process?
If I want to gain the ability to influence you, well, then what I have to do is give you the ability to influence me. And when I say, hey, here's what we're trying to make happen. Here's what I want to do. And you say, well, I think we should do it like this. You know what I should say? Okay, well, let's take a look at that. The more I allow you to influence me, the more open your mind gets for me to influence you. Respect, same thing. If I treat you like you're a plebe, like you don't matter, you're not going to respect me at all. But if I treat you with respect and respect you when you try and talk to me, and I listen and I respect what you're saying and I try and understand it fully, then your respect for me is going to go up as well. So when you want to earn respect, give respect. When you want to earn influence, give influence. When you want to earn trust, give trust. All those three are related. There's a word that people bring up a lot, and I think they're pretty interchangeable, and it's relationships and trust, right? Trust is built on relationships. Relationships are built on trust. If you don't trust me, we don't really have a relationship. The more deeply you trust me, the better relationship we have. When I say that relationships are the most important thing in getting things done, when I look back at my career in the Navy and the SEAL teams, just about every single thing that I ever did was through relationships. So the amount of times that I looked at one of my subordinates and said, no, you will do what I'm saying because I'm in charge, I don't think I actually honestly ever said that one single time. I think it was always, hey, this is what we got to get done. How do you think we should do it? Do you think this is smart? And it was all based on relationships and up the chain of command too. There was never a time that one of my bosses said, hey, Jocko, shut up and you do what I told you to do. There was never a time that one of my bosses said that to me. There was, if I had a question, if I pushed back, they gave me legitimate answers. If they didn't have good answers, then they would modulate or change what it is that they were telling me to do. So how do I build trust with you? So if you're above me in the chain of command, if you ask me to do something as my boss, I do it. And I do it well. And I do it consistently. And I go above and beyond what you ask. And if you want me to deliver this project by this date, I deliver it earlier and I deliver it to the best of my ability above and beyond what you expected. And you say, oh wow, when I ask Jocko to do something, he actually does it. And that's where it starts. It starts with that right there, with me performing, me offering advice, me taking what you asked me to do and doing it. That's the number one thing. If we flip those roles, and now I'm in charge of you, how do I build trust with you? Well, what I do is I give you a project. And instead of me giving you a project and then saying, hey, here's how I want you to do this and here's how I want you to do the next part, instead I say, hey, here's a project, let me know how you want to do it. And then you go figure out how you want to get done. And I don't micromanage you and I don't ask you a million questions about and tell you, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. I let you do it. And what does that tell you? That tells you that I trust you. I trust you. And when I trust you, you start to trust me. And by the way, if something goes wrong, instead of me jumping down your throat and hanging you out to dry and making you an example in front of everyone, I say, hey, let's figure out what went wrong. Did I not support you well enough? Did I not give you what you needed? And so you realize, oh, he's not gonna hang me out to dry. He's gonna give me the support. He's gonna try and teach me if something goes wrong instead of try and drop the hammer on me.
I think the thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So that we're doing what we can to have the future be as good as possible, to be inspired by what is likely to happen, and to look forward to the next day.
There are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone, and I would hope for as much support in that direction as we can receive.
Why is no one else doing these things?
What's your pain threshold? Well, if it's real high. SpaceX is alive by the skin of its teeth, so is Tesla. If things had just gone a little bit the other way, both companies would be dead. Like, one of the most difficult choices I have ever faced in life was was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. And when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, and building something, it's like a child. It's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
What was your biggest failure, and how did it change you?
For SpaceX, the first 3 launches failed, and we actually were just barely able to scrape together enough parts and money to do the 4th launch. If that 4th launch had failed, we would have been dead. I tried very hard to get the right expertise in for SpaceX. I tried hard to find a great chief engineer for the rocket, but the good chief engineers wouldn't join, and the bad ones, well, there was no point in hiring them. So I ended up being chief engineer of the rocket. So if I could have found somebody better, then we would have maybe had less than 3 failures.
When I was young, I didn't really know what I was going to do when I got older. People kept asking me, but then eventually I thought that the idea of inventing things would be really cool. And the reason I thought that was because I read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which said that a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and that's really true. If you go back, say 300 years, the things that we take for granted today you'd be burned at the stake for. Being able to fly, that's crazy. Being able to see over long distances, being able to communicate, having effectively with the internet a group mind of sorts, and having access to all the world's information instantly from almost anywhere on the earth. This is stuff that really would be magic, or would be considered magic in times past. In fact, I think it actually goes beyond that, because there are many things that we take for granted today that weren't even imagined in times past. They weren't even in the realm of magic. So it actually goes beyond that. So I thought, well, if I can do some of those things, basically if I can advance technology, then that's like magic, and that would be really cool. And I always had sort of a slight existential crisis, because I was trying to figure out what does it all mean? Like, what's the purpose of things? And I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we're better able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward.
I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. Well, first of all, I think if somebody is doing something that is useful to the rest of society, I think that's a good thing. Like, it doesn't have to change the world. Like, if you're doing something that has high value to people, and frankly, even if it's like just a little game, or some improvement in photo sharing or something, if it has a small amount of good for a large number of people, I think that's fine. Like, stuff doesn't need to be changed the world just to be good.
I would lay in bed for up to 4 hours a day, every single day, because I couldn't motivate myself to get out of bed. I didn't have a job. My girlfriend, now wife, was working, and I had one thing that I had as a responsibility every day, and that was to make her a sandwich before she came home for her lunch break. And the only thing that would get me out of bed, 15 years before I'm capable of building $1 billion company, the only thing that got me out of bed was shame. So you have to understand, people had not misidentified me. This is not a story of someone who was born extraordinary. People just couldn't see it, that I was secretly this amazing person who was just waiting for their opportunity to shine. This was somebody who was lazy as had no idea what they were gonna do with their life. I had no idea how I was gonna pull it off. I was absolutely terrified. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw me staring back, and I knew how lazy I was. I knew how afraid I was. I knew how insecure I was. I knew that at my core, I wanted people to like me, and I was terrified that they had every reason in the world not to like me. But instead of becoming someone who was worthy of self-respect, who was worthy of their respect, I was trying to create the illusion that I was something because that seemed like I could do it fast instead of just buckling down and doing the hard-ass work of becoming somebody new. Because I had one failed misunderstanding. I believed that my talent and intelligence were fixed traits. I was born a certain way, and life was about making the most of what I'd been born with. What I did not yet understand is the reason humans are the ultimate apex predator, the reason that we have taken over the globe in a way that no other species has, is because we are the ultimate adaptation machine. When I was a kid, the adage, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, was like, everyone just believed it. But because of that, I found myself putting myself in smaller and smaller rooms because, and this is gonna be the most important thing that I say today, of this I assure you, what you build your self-esteem around matters. And whether you realize it or not, each and every one of you has something that sits at the core of how you feel about yourself. And from that, your identity, your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem, it is all built around that thing. And I will tell you the trap that most people fall into, that I certainly fell into, that led me into hiding in bed for 5 hours at a time every morning, was that I valued myself for being smart, for being right, for being good, for being worthy, all incredibly fragile traits. And I kept encountering people who were smarter than I was, who were right more than I was. And it made me feel badly about myself. Now, if there's anything you know it's that humans move towards the things that make them feel good, and they move away from the things that make them feel bad. So you can understand that is a terrible strategy to have this very fragile thing that holds my entire sense of identity and self-worth. I'm smart. I meet somebody smarter than me, and I don't think, what can I learn? Because I think an old dog can't learn new tricks. I believed that the human mind couldn't change. I believed that it was fixed. I believed that my talent and intelligence were just what they were. It all seemed true. It wasn't like I knew it to be a lie. It wasn't even like I knew that I had a choice to think of it a different way. But the reality is that's how shapeable a human being is. And I had made decisions. I had chosen to believe things. I had chosen to value myself for things. I had built my self-esteem around things that were not moving me forward. And so I began to change my belief system. I began to change the things that I value. But at that time, I just needed to learn. I needed to pay attention. I needed to see where I was weak. And the constant barrage on my self-esteem that I wasn't the smartest person in the room, that I wasn't right very often, it was unrelenting. And I remember saying to myself, all right, man, you got two choices. You can leave, like you don't need to be here. You don't need to want to become an entrepreneur. That doesn't have to be your life. You can go back to selling video games, which is what I was doing. You can go back to selling video games. You could go back to teaching. Like if that's where you're gonna be happy, then go do that. But if you really want to become extraordinary, you've got to separate your self-esteem from being wrong. You have to. Because otherwise, you're never going to see the opportunity to get better. And so I decided that I was going to start valuing myself. My entire value was going to be predicated on being willing to admit that I was wrong, on being willing to stare nakedly at my inadequacies. I was not going to hide from them. I was not going to run. I wasn't going to try to do some fancy story. I was just going to own it. Yo, you suck at this, man. You suck at this, but you're just not good at it yet. And once that word yet is lingering out there, suddenly it becomes a question of time allocation. So you know you could get good at it, but it's going to take a lot of time and energy. So what are the skills that you really want to get good at? And that goes back to that clarity. What do I need to get good at in order to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish? It does not need to be something that somebody else values. It needs to be the thing I have chosen to value, that I have built into my life, this worship around getting good at that thing. I didn't have to get good at helping others build mindset. That didn't have to be my life. But that's what I've chosen. That's what I want to do. And so I build this tremendous amount of value into it. And because I value myself for pursuing that, and I value myself for admitting when I'm wrong, and I value myself for staring nakedly at my inadequacies, every day I'm getting better. It doesn't matter who you are today. It certainly doesn't matter how you were born. The only thing that matters is who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there. It is the animal that can change the fastest to a changing environment that becomes the most dominant species the world has ever seen. It is our very nature to change. Because if you want to do something extraordinary, you have one job: leave your fellow humans in awe. Now, when you think about my job as a parent, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, as a speaker, as a whatever you want to be, you've got to get so good at that thing that when people see you do it, you make them experience the most potent human emotion, and that is awe. To get that good is a terrifying journey of self-discovery and confronting who you really are, because you cannot make change until you acknowledge where you're actually at. To me, the gap between where you are now and where you want to go is a gap of skill set. You get to build yourself in any direction you want, in any way, to become anything you want. There will be an extraordinary price to pay, but you can go in any direction. Now, I don't think that we're born blank slates, but we are so close to that. To worry about where your limits are is to miss how much you can improve. Once you believe that, you start looking for the ways in which that was powerful. How is the worst thing that ever happened to me actually secretly the best thing that's ever happened to me? People don't realize that they are choices. Now, once you reframe all of this as these are things that I'm choosing to believe, and once you realize that you can choose to believe something new and thusly get a different result, everything changes. Over and over and over. You have to push yourself long past the point of boredom. Boredom kills more people in the pursuit of success than any hater will ever kill. Boredom is the great killer of dreams, because people don't have the focus, they don't have the clarity of what they're trying to achieve. They have not built into their life an intoxication for what they're trying to accomplish. You're not looking for a way to shape your skill set. Remember, between where you are and where you want to go, it is a gap of skill set. But I'm begging you, I am begging you with everything I have. Remember that just 15 years earlier, I got out of bed solely out of shame. My mother thought I was going to fail. My father-in-law did not want me to marry his daughter. Brick by brick, day after day, I transformed myself. It was not an uncovering of something that was real and already there. It was simply acknowledging I am a hopelessly average human, but humans are the ultimate adaptation machine. So I can change. I can become whatever I want.
You're never gonna be great if you don't look for the 5%. You know, I think that you can pick up from talking to me that I'm not on a different level, okay? These are pretty simple, basic tools. And so nobody out there is listening to him and saying, God darn, he's just using words and he's just so much smarter than me, so I'm not gonna become worth $5 billion. That book is bullshit, okay? He's just naturally smarter than me. I think you can see that I'm no smarter than anybody else in this room. I just use certain little basic tools to be successful every day. Take the word no out of your vocabulary. Worry about your customer, no spare customers. Use the 95-5 rule. Separate yourself from everybody else. Be the bull at whatever you do, and on and on and on. Well, you just gotta keep punching and just take care of your business, and you just realize until they come and shut you down or lock the doors or you can't get product or whatever, until you can't make a payroll. You'd be surprised what you can take though. And you just keep punching, and believe it or not, times, get good. And it goes back to what I once again preach. When times are really bad, we forget they're ever gonna be good again. And when times are really good, we forget they're gonna be bad again. I don't fear anything, but I worry about everything. And the day you stop worrying in good times, the paddle will get your behind. And so as great as things are in life, I know you're only a few steps or a few incidents away from something bad happening. You can never forget it. I'm taking the next steps right now to get to the next level. Because that's my sport. Let's go play pickup basketball. Let's go to the office and play business. And that's what I do every day. I go to the office and play business. You gotta know what you know and what you don't know. And I knew that I understood business. I think you know if you know business or not. And people ask me, should I go get my MBA? And you know what I usually tell them? You know if you need to go get your MBA. If you don't have it inside of you and you understand economics and finance and operations of business, then you need to go get it. I knew that I didn't need it. It was just a God-given gift. You've got to know your God-given gifts, and everybody has it. Everybody in this room has it right here. So do what you know was your God-given gift and find a way to use that as your path. You know if people know what they're doing, but it's my job to make sure and bring everybody up to another level. And I think that's probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten, is that I'll take somebody good and make them better.
Is that a conscious process for you? Like, what are you doing? Is it just kicking people in the ass, inspiring them, leading by example?
All the above. I think I do. You always know where you stand with me. I have all my top VPs probably have been with me an average of 25 years. My two assistants have been with me 27 and 26 years. And everybody will tell you that is the hardest son of a bitch in the world to work for, but I would never work for anybody else.
What would you have to see in them to think it's worth the risk?
I think one of the best things that I ever did was I will look at somebody's resume and I can say, you know what? You've never been with the right company, and that's why you haven't excelled, and that's why you're in here today. And so many people choose the wrong company to go to work for. And I look at people all the time, and I look at your resume and say, why did you go to work for this company? I knew they were screwed up when you went to work for them, okay? And so some people just are not good at choosing the right company, and also the person interviewing makes promises that never happen. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make, is choosing the wrong company to go to work for. Do they really have good liquidity? Are they going to be in business? Are they an acquisition target where all of a sudden that they are and you're going to get bought and probably laid off? Everything is do they have a product that is going to be around for a long time? So everything from liquidity to product, acquisition target, growth, of where are you going to go? Everybody should always ask themselves if they want to grow, and they just don't want to just whatever, is say, where can I be in 5 years? If I can't be at this position in 5 years, then this isn't a good career path for me.
What made you good at selling? That is a very particular skill.
Even today, it's all about, somebody said, why are you so successful? Because I sell. And even when you go out and you raise billions of dollars in debt and you're meeting with debt holders, you're still selling yourself. That's what it's all about. You're not just selling the deal. When I was public for 18 years, okay, and you're selling equity, I did 5 follow-on offerings, the most a restaurant company ever did when I was public. And you are selling yourself, and you know your numbers, you know your business, and you make yourself that you know more than everybody else, even if you don't. Let's do it another way. Let's go back to 10 years old. I walked around with my business, my briefcase, full of business. There was no business in it, but I wanted to be a business guy, but you really didn't know what it was. By junior high, I was buying candy and reselling it at school. By high school, I was already trading on the stock market. That's just, hey, doing whatever it took to make money. I always wanted to make money. I always had money, even when I was a kid, because I always worked whatever job I could find, whether it was mowing somebody's yard or washing cars or selling lemonade to the construction workers. It was just always about making money. So at 21, I sold vitamins. I started building homes, building shopping centers. By the time I was 26, I built my first hotel. By the time I was 25, I told myself I'll have my first jet at 35, and I did.
You tend to know more about any deal, anything going on in your company than anybody else. I want to know how. How do you master it to that level?
Well, I mean, I can't get into some details that people know that I don't know, but if you walk into my office for a meeting, I don't care what department you're in, I will pick apart whatever you have. And you better know your numbers when you walk in there with a spreadsheet, or you better have your ads right if you're the marketing person walking in. But you also, you know if people know what they're doing. But it's my job to make sure and bring everybody up to another level. And I think that's probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten, is that I'll take somebody good and make them better.
It was tough. As a child, I was always kind of an outcast. My parents are immigrants. They came here in 1978 with 2 suitcases. I literally feel like I lived the American dream. My brother and I went to public schools. We had jobs. I started working when I was 12. I started babysitting in the neighborhood. And I always had to hustle, and I watched my parents do it as soon as they got here. My mom had a degree in English literature from India. Nobody would recognize it, so her first job here was chopping onions at the local Wendy's, and they had to struggle. I was a big nerd. I read books all the time and did science fair competitions, and I really found my refuge in academics and was really passionate about school. And so got lucky enough to get into Harvard, but didn't really have the money to attend, so I would cobble together different jobs. I did, in fact, clean toilets for our campus. We call it dorm crew, but it's like a janitorial service run by students. However, I do think that a lot of that kind of work is truly character building. I remember that summer, I would literally calculate the value of everything I purchased according to how many toilets it would take me, to clean, to purchase that. And I think it gave me this frugality and discipline, which I then brought into my entrepreneurial career. And so I think grit was part of my upbringing, and I'm actually really grateful for that, because I think if you didn't have that kind of a background, one of the ways that you can push yourself to get beyond your comfort zone, I think, is to read about failure and try to immerse yourself in more case studies that show you how failure can profoundly shape you. And it's hard. I mean, in the early days of a startup, I think rejection is inevitable. So there's an element of just getting back up again when you've been punched so many times that you feel like you can't. And I don't know what it is in us that creates that sort of tipping point when you decide to get up again, but it's among all the entrepreneurs I know who are successful, that is the single biggest factor. It's not quitting.
The M2S team would like to take 30 seconds to share a message from the American Cancer Society, who would like to shine light on this important issue. The rate of new cases of cancer is 442.4 per 100,000 men and women per year, based on 2013 to 2017 cases. With these rising numbers, it's more important now than ever to encourage investment in affordable healthcare, raising awareness, and accessibility for preventative measures. If you can, please donate to the American Cancer Society to help us fight against cancer and secure a future where receiving a cancer diagnosis isn't a death sentence. Thank you so much, and now back to the video.
It's important that we don't absolve ourselves of a moral duty to act. Sheryl Sandberg talks about this in her book Option B, about this idea of post-traumatic growth and using something that's tough as a growth experience. And so I find this fascinating because I think my own view is that we become conscious of our smallness and how irrelevant these petty concerns are day to day. You know, like you'll be annoyed about, you know, I often get annoyed about something somebody said to me at the office or some political thing that's going on, you know, in my friend group or some other issue. I'm stuck in traffic and I will forget, wait a minute, okay, at the end of the day, none of this matters at all. And most of the really successful entrepreneurs I know will tell me just how many people rejected them. For some reason, maybe it's because people assume that if you're doing good in the world that you are a little bit self-righteous and you're putting down others. There's a sort of a takedown desire people have. And I just feel like that's unfortunate. I think like there are so many examples of truly corrupt, solely profit-seeking entrepreneurs who've done far worse, I think, who are under far less scrutiny than relatively good social entrepreneurs who, you know, are flawed humans like we all are. And I guess my takeaway from that is to try to be a little bit more balanced in our assessments and look at the bigger picture. At the end of the day, I come from stardust. I will return to being stardust. None of this matters at all. The only real thing that matters is love. You know, loving people and being loved yourself. And I think everything else is kind of gravy. So what I often go back to when I'm really struggling or when I'm feeling depressed, I will literally like go back and read. I have a file in my Gmail of inspirational stories from our workers. Stories that people will send me about their own transformation or stories that managers of our centers will send me. And whenever I'm feeling depressed, I'll go back and read those just to ground me. I feel like when your core spiritual values or your morality are aligned with what you spend the majority of your time doing, it creates this unity in your soul. And I feel like having that has been such a cornerstone of my life. Best piece of advice I ever heard is from Ben Horowitz: don't punk out and quit. I have the tattoo, I have the Sama tattoo on my right hand, but I almost feel like that should be the other tattoo, because I think the most worthwhile, worthy things in life are just the result of a lot of, you know, painful, enduring failure. And being able to pause and breathe before I make decisions has probably, you know, saved me a lot of heartache. The only real power we have in the world is choosing our response. We can't choose what happens to us. We can get stuck into situations where we are abused, where we are not treated fairly, where any number of bad things can happen. And so the only choice we can make is how to respond. And I find that that knowledge gives me so much freedom, because if something bad is happening to me that I can say is beyond my control, I can say, well, at least, you know, I have the power in my response to show the world what kind of person I am. But the choice to take that painful experience and mold it into something positive for the world is, I think, the deepest kind of healing we can have as humans. And for me, I think part of what got me through those tough times, eventually as I matured, was the knowledge that I had transformed that into something good for the world. You know, I have a passion for doing this kind of work. It's almost a selfish passion because it makes me feel really good. Maybe it's the feeling that other people get when they go to church or they do volunteer work. For me, this is like my soul food. So when people are living in a constant state of scarcity, they cannot possibly make, you know, what we would think of as good decisions. They are locked into a state of suffering and not achieving their full human potential that is just tragic. And it's tragic not just at the individual level, it's tragic in the sense of this is the greatest natural resource we have in the world. More important than going to Mars, more important than finding the next oil reserve or the next diamond mine. I think when we say that and do that, it makes ordinary people feel like they could never enter this field, and that's part of the problem, is figuring out how we can mine the talent of the bottom billions of people who've been left to fester. And I think it's a tremendous loss to the world. And so for me, I think it's so exciting to be able to go to places and see people shine, see people who could easily be astrophysicists if they had only had the opportunity, and hopefully get them on the path where they can achieve more of their human potential. And it is the most personally satisfying job I could ever imagine having. And I think as a society, when we do this, we feel more satisfied collectively as well.